Now we're ready. Now we're ready. We got a mic too. All right. I want to welcome everyone and let you know how much I appreciate you all taking the time to be here with us today, and I know those that are watching in. This is our first department spotlight that we're going to be doing, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I wanted to start off this section, do a quick intro, but talk a little bit about just our financial situation and where we are with our budget right now. I know as we go into budget times in the last few years, we've had to make budget cuts each year, and they haven't been significant, like large amounts of budget cuts, but to all of us, they're large. If one position is gone, it's large. It makes a big difference. And so I think it has a significant impact. And I know it creates a lot of turmoil. I've been on that side of it and understand that. It creates a lot of turmoil of what's happening. And I'm probably a little bit behind the curve here on the rumor mill, because the rumor mill starts rolling and it's just like, it's dangerous. But what I'll tell you is, as we go into this, I just want to lay the groundwork a little bit. First, I want to tell you that we're in a good position financially. Our reserves are really strong. We're in a good place actually in this year where our revenues are compared to our projections, or we're a little bit ahead. Sales and use tax are the primary ones, and you'll see that we present to council once a month on the sales and use tax, because that's the key to our budget. Is the lifeblood of the services that we provide to our residents, so an important part of that. So we've got that information that's available. We're a little bit ahead of target right now in this year. What's happened over the last few years has just been, we've been in a place where 2 years ago, I think we had 1.4% growth in sales tax. Last year, we were down about 0.5% below the previous year. This year, we're running about 2% growth in sales tax. Our normal growth in sales tax is about 3.5%. And so when you think of that, we need that kind of growth to be able to keep up with our cost growth, but then also to be able to add services incrementally. We've had the opposite of that, where recently our cost growth, which is primarily our costs for personnel, wages and benefits, that cost growth has stayed ahead of our revenue growth. And so sales tax growth just hasn't kept up. Going into next year again, we're still in this time of uncertainty, and looking at another 2% growth year that we're looking at right now. And so what happens with, like, just as an example, in this last year, going from wage increases and step increases granted last year, and the effect on, or in this current year, an effect on next year's budget is about $12 million. We've had to increase our percentage of contribution on the city side for the pension system. The employee side stays static, but we've had to increase that. That's about $4 million. There are other cost growth that we've had related to personnel and for insurance, for property insurance, and for workers' compensation. All of those things together increased our cost more than if we do a 2% growth in sales tax. And that's the gap that we have, and I don't remember the exact number. It was $7 or $8 million, maybe $9 million that we originally had between our projected expenses and our expected revenues. That's really what puts us in the position to need to make adjustments in the budget. The instructions we gave to departments, police and fire departments, I've asked them to propose a 1.4% cut in their budget. For other departments, all other departments, a 2.4% cut in their budgets. Police and fire this is true across the board, but in police and fire, public safety, we have commitments because of increase that we did in sales tax with a few years ago, with a certain number of positions we're going to try to target and keep. We're right now below that because of cuts we had to make next year. So there's a little bit less we're asking from police and fire. Their budgets are significantly larger. It's still in excess of $1 million that each of them is cutting from their budget or proposing to cut from their budget. All other departments are taking that 2.4% cut, and we're looking at that and evaluating that right now. Those proposals have been made. The thing I want to get across to everyone is we really, in the years that I've been with the city, a little over 30 years that I've been with the city, that every year we work hard, and I say we, it's the leadership in the departments, leadership in the city manager's office. We're all working together. HR is working with us to try to make sure if we are having to make adjustments where we're having to cut, that we've got enough vacancies that are available, that either departments can cut vacancies and try to target those positions, and we've asked departments to do that, or if someone's position gets cut, there's a person actually filling a position, we have the ability to offer them other options that they could go to that are similar to the job that they're in right now. I've seen this happen many times through the years, and situations where the job that someone is in, they lose that position and they have to find another position. It may even be outside of their current department. That's difficult, and I don't take that lightly, but at least we have a place for them to land. And so generally in most every situation, we've got a place for someone to be able, an option for them to be able to go to. And it's a priority for us because we want you to know that we want to take care of you. We appreciate you being here and being a part of this organization and the contributions you make in serving our residents. So we always want our teammates to know that we care about them, and we're trying to make sure that we can be a strong, constant employer where people aren't afraid of, every time there's a change in the economy, we're going to have layoffs. And I'm committing to that again. We'll have positions that are cut, but I think the number of positions that are cut that have people actually filling those should be a small number, and we've been in a position to offer other options for those employees. And so I just want you to know that we're committed to that. And I know as the rumors start rolling and not understanding why we're not giving bigger pay increases or why we're having to cut the budgets, rumors roll around about that, and the reality is we're doing all that we can to try to ensure that we take care of our employees and that we serve our residents to the best of our ability. I just wanted to get that out in front of you. I also want to welcome that, and I would say this for myself as well as any of the assistant city managers and even department directors, that if you're having questions and hearing rumors and you're concerned about something, whether it's with the budget right now or something else that's going on, reach out to us and we'll be glad to talk with you. We're going to try to stay ahead of this and be able to share with you what's happening, be transparent about what we're doing. Our plan right now, it's April 28th, I think, is when we take the budget to the council. That's the date that we're scheduled to go to the council. So we've got a few more weeks of working through finalizing the budget and having that ready to go. But we're going to work to ensure that we can try to help take care of you all in the positions that you have. I also understand that when positions are cut that come out of your work area, even though it didn't affect your position, it affects your work. So now your workload is increased, and we understand that impact as well. So we really want to make sure that you know that we're taking care of you all and that we're committed to ensuring that we're doing the best to take care of you and provide an employment opportunity for you that's a great opportunity and a place where you can grow and that you can be successful, but also that we're ensuring that we're serving our residents to the best of our ability. I didn't want to start on that heavy note. It feels heavy. We are going to work through this, and this is going to be good. Things are going to be good, and we're going to find a time ahead of us where things get better and we can add back some positions. Right now, it's just we're in this time of uncertainty with lower level growth, and we're going to manage through this, and we're going to do well with that. And I know that you all are a big part of that. I understand that when we do this and make decisions, it really trickles through the organization, and you all are the ones that still carry this out and do the great work. But we will work through this. I just wanted to start off this way to be transparent about what's going on so you all know what's up and you can share that with your coworkers. So we wanted to start that way. But now we're going to shift into our discussions on our introduction for this department highlights. I'm going to ask the assistant city managers to join me up here, and we're going to start off with just doing some quick introductions of ourselves. When you think of the city manager's office and the mayor's office, there's an awareness of our offices, but there's generally very little awareness of all the work that goes on, not just from our role in working with the departments in leadership, but also other folks. We have other pieces within our department that provide direct services and are really working with you all and with our residents and serving our residents. So we wanted to be able to roll that out, but wanted to start off in a fun way with some quick introductions. And I'm going to hand it off to LaShawn and let her start us off with the introductions.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. I said major.
Oh, that's all right.
My apologies,
Okay.
my apologies. Are we putting my screen up? Are we putting my screen up? Is it on this way? Oh, okay.
And y'all say hi to a bunch of people on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, hello, everyone. While they're getting our screens up, my name is LaShawn Thompson. I serve as one of the assistant city managers, and I am grateful to be here today to visit with you, tell you a little bit about myself, tell you about my core values, the pillars that I stand on. All of them are important to me. But when they asked me the question, they said, name one core value. I had to select two. I never follow the rules, and I don't. He calls me Dee Dee because I'm very direct, okay? So the pillar that I would say is most important to me is respect always, right? It goes back to the golden rule. We learned this as little bitty kids. We learned it in school. Our teachers put it on the boards over and over and over again. Respect always. I treat you how I want to be treated. I treat my residents how I want to have the service that I'm looking for. You can't do anything. This is me. This is how I feel. You can't do anything without the foundation of respect, right? So when we can be respectful of each other, we can own our outcomes. We can continue to keep getting better. We can be one city, one team. If we can't respect anything or respect anybody or be respectful to our residents, we can't do any of those core values. And so my goal is to continue to create a workplace where everybody feels respected, where everybody feels heard, where everybody feels like they love coming to this place every day. And this is your work family. And this is not just a job. When I get up every morning, this is what I love to do. And I'm passionate about the people that I serve, the people that I work with. Everything I do it for the people, and I do it for the community and the community that we serve. The departments that I have, they're on the board. I'm not gonna read them to you. I like to say I have everything from A to Z, from airports to the zoo and everything in between, okay? What keeps me up at night? If you asked me this 10 years ago, I would have said, people going to jail that don't have the financial ability to pay, right? We had a lot of poor people in jail 20 years ago. And so we did some major shifts in criminal justice reform, and that's not the case anymore. But what keeps me up tonight, last night, because I didn't go to sleep after council meeting, we had a deep discussion about housing and homelessness. That takes a lot of my day because we have a lot of unhoused individuals, and we have a lot of homeless individuals, and we have some affordable housing issues. And if you know anything about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he says that you can't do anything without food, safety, and shelter, right? So you can't begin to get up in the morning and give your best self if you don't have those three things. So that's important to me because we have friends and families and residents and visitors living out there in the streets, can't afford affordable housing, so they can't even bring their best self to work, right? If you can't afford your rent, how are you coming to the city every day and giving 100%? The math is not mathing, okay? So that's what keeps me up at night. So let's go to my two truths and a lie. So, if you think I love to fish, raise your hand. Okay. If you think watching NASCAR is my favorite hobby, raise your hand. Okay. If you think I have 5 grandchildren, raise your hand. You guys know me, don't you? Right? I love to fish. And I love to fish for crappie. I have 5 grandchildren, actually 5 grandboys that keep me busy. And I cannot stand NASCAR because I don't understand it, okay? Going around and around in the track, just watching this car go around and around. But yeah, you guys do know me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to highlight who I am and what I bring to the table and what I bring to the city every day. And I'll pass it on to Mr. Jason.
Thank you, LaShawn. And I did know the answer to those last, but you slapped me a little bit, so I just kept my hand down. But I do know you.
Yes, you do. You do.
So my name's Jason Fairbrush, Assistant City Manager, and I think I'll just start by talking a little bit about the departments that I work with. So first of all, my portfolio, if you will, of departments includes our public safety departments, so police, fire, IMSA, all of our first responders. And I've had a privilege of being able to spend some time on ride-alongs with each of those groups. And I think it's an opportune time for me just to recognize the efforts of those departments, especially those first responders that deal with issues each and every day that for probably most of us in this room would just kind of be like, how do you even handle that, right? So they're out there on the front lines serving our residents, providing services that I myself am definitely not capable of providing. So, so I get to work with public safety. Lots of other really cool things that come with working with our public safety departments that are a lot of fun. The other departments I work with, we'll put these two in the fun category. Parks and Recreation, and yes, PIM, that's a very fun group to work with. So I get to work with those folks, and then kind of on the technical side, I get to work alongside our IT department, and I get to work alongside our public transportation and parking department. And you might wonder, like, well, why is public transportation and parking technical? Similar to IT and other technical departments, there's a lot that goes into public transit, whether it's maintaining schedules, it's operating an effective safety management system, lots of technicalities that go in delivering that service. And then, in addition to that, I get to work with, let's call it our trailblazing departments, right? So we have the department, or I should say our Office of Innovation, and then our Public Safety Partnership. And I intentionally didn't put our Public Safety Partnership in the public safety category because the work that we're doing through Public Safety Partnership, in my mind, really is trailblazing new work, improving and enhancing the level of service that we provide to our residents. So, so that's what I kind of work with, oversee on a daily basis. In addition to that, I serve as the interim executive director for One Transit, AKA the Regional Transportation Authority of Central Oklahoma, and I think I have an opportunity to talk a little bit about that here on some of my next talking points. So, as far as favorite core value goes, probably not a surprise for most that have worked with me, but it's own the outcome. And so why is it own the outcome? I'm very big on accountability. There's lots of things we could say about accountability, but I'm going to sum it up really with three small phrases. We should be accountable to ourselves each and every day. We should be accountable to those that are around us, whether it's our employees, whether it's our family members. And because we have the privilege of being public servants, we are accountable to our residents. So by far, that's the core value I gravitate to probably the most. All right, so favorite project, maybe no surprise, but talking a little bit about One Transit, again, AKA the RTA. Won't get into all the details other than simply acknowledge that One Transit is a separate government entity comprised of 3 different cities with the goal of bringing regional transit system funded by a dedicated sales tax to Oklahoma City, Edmond, and Norman. And so going back to just kind of that trailblazing mentality, always trying to enhance the services that we're providing to our residents. It's a project I can really gravitate to because it is new, it's something different, and in my mind, it's something better. And at the end of the day, it's a legacy that those that are involved in, and eventually all of us probably will be, get to pass on to those that come after us. And so I'll wrap up, I think, with the two truths and a lie section. And let's go with LaShawn's technique here. For those of you that believe I use the city's bus system to commute to work for a few years, raise your hand. Okay, I didn't fool anybody with that one. Yes. And I'm telling you, it was a great 2 years because I got a nap every afternoon on the way home. And I should probably give a shout out to my carpooling / bus riding partners at the time, and that's Mike Miller and Carla Chapman. And it just goes to show, I would never have, well, I don't say I'd never, but I first met and developed a friendship and relationship, if you will, with Carla through the bus. We're like, hey, do I know you? You work at the city? Oh, yeah, okay. So again, public transit, it's a bit of a community. Okay, the next one. Who thinks I'm an only child? Okay, I am not an only child. There's actually 5 in my family, and I am the eldest, if you will.
Of course you are.
Yeah, and I keep getting older. Thanks, Craig, thanks. All right, and then last one, who does not like spending time with their kids, man, right? It doesn't matter what age they are. So this is me and my 22-year-old son, potentially, if you believe it, at a Kid Rock concert. Who thinks I'm at a Kid Rock's concert? All right, well done, man. You guys are good. All right, let's turn it over to AC and Bryant.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you all for being here today. It's good to share our thoughts with you, but I'll start off here with my core values: keep getting better. I grew up kind of in an athletic family, and I had a dad that was always pushing me, and coaches are always pushing me. And I had a coach one time say, "Today at practice, you're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. Standing still is getting worse." And so I believe that when we show up every day, we got to give our best, and there's always room for improvement. So if you've ever had me do your PE, you know I don't give out 5s, because I don't think either you can always get better. I do give out a few 5s, but normally I don't. But it's just, and I don't expect it myself. I can get better. I'm fortunate enough to work here. I've been ACM since March of last year. Department-wise, I have finance, maps, public works, utilities, development services, culture engagement, and then also work with Sue on sports venues and facilities. And I really enjoy the team that I have here. My favorite projects are the Skirvin Hotel, that development of that, the First National, the Devon Tower, and now I'm getting to be a part of the arena, not only the helping with the financing, but actually the building of it. That takes up a lot of my time, but it's kind of cool when you can be a part of that kind of stuff and play your small part in that. I've always said that what we do, whether you work in finance, courts, wherever, we're in the city building business. We're building the city every day. We're making it better. And whether you're providing quality services, or you're building buildings, fixing potholes, picking up animals, doing code enforcement, whatever it is, you're part of the building of our community. And it's a thing that, again, are we getting better? Are we getting worse? We got to continually always get better. And so one time they found out, they asked me what did I lose sleep over. There was a point in time where we were doing the Devon Tower project, and we were going out and borrowing a lot of money to do all the nice, beautiful things that we did with downtown. And I got an email from somebody that said, "Hey, check cell number blank in your spreadsheet." And I was sick. I think I shared it with Craig at the time, but we found a way to solve that problem, and we didn't have to do anything. But I was sick that we found a mistake. I make plenty of mistakes in life, but that was one of those. But it's one thing, I guess, about being very conscientious of our work. So, 2 truths and a lie. First of all, I got to show you this picture. This picture, I got to brag on the little guy there. He's 2 months, 25 days, if anybody's counting. His name's Bryant. He's Bryant Hunter, and he was born on December 1st. And I'm there with my wife of almost 35 years. She's Lolly, I'm Pops. That's original. So with that, but he's a true blessing. I got 2 kids, and they're awesome kids too, and I love them dearly. So 2 truths and a lie. My favorite color, I went to Oklahoma State and OU, so my favorite color is orange. How many think my favorite color is orange? Okay, I'll tell you the answer here in a second. When I was in high school, I was recruited by Notre Dame to play football. How many think that? Very few of you. All right, that's good. When I was in high school, I was scouted by the Angels and the Phillies to play baseball. Very few of you. Okay. Okay, so the lie is my favorite color is not orange. Now, I love wearing orange. Now, that's to be technical, that is sunset orange, sunset, which is the thunder color, okay? So I don't like to offend all my friends at OU, so I'm not an OU hater, but I'm not a big lover either, but I'm not a hater, so. But my favorite color is Yankee blue. I'm a huge New York Yankee fan, so we had a Yankee room when my son was younger. So that actually was a lie. The other one was was recruited by a lot of big schools in college, but I was a terrible student. So there's hope for you. If you got kids that struggled in school, there's hope, trust me. And Craig and I've had that conversation too. When I told them my ACT score, they was like, well, good luck, okay? That's how that worked out. So, and then lastly, I was scouted by some baseball players. I was a catcher growing up, and I love baseball. I think I like baseball because it's real analytical, but it's a numbers game too. I think that's probably why I like it. So, with that, now we're going to turn it back over to Craig.
Okay. I'll do a quick introduction here, and then we'll move on into the section talking more about the department and have some presentations here. So this is my gang. Actually, this isn't AI generated. Steve Hill did this for me. So Steve Hill created this for us, and I love it. My favorite core value, and I think they said, don't choose one city, one team. And I said, following LaShawn's lead, I said, I'm not going to follow the rules because one city, one team is my favorite value, and it is because one, it encompasses all the other values, right? All the others tie back to one city, one team. But I love the fact that this kind of organically grew out of the input and the feedback we're getting. And we started rolling this out, just the way you all reacted, everyone was like, yes, that's what we are. We're one city, we're one team. Regardless of where we work, regardless of the department we're in, regardless of how long you've been here, we're one city, one team. So that's my favorite because of all of you. What keeps me up at night? Some of the things we were talking about to start off with, just the challenges financially, excuse me, of ensuring that we can make sure that we're serving our residents, but at the same time taking care of our employees. And that probably concerns me the most. It's financial issues that we deal with. And it's just, I want to make sure that we're doing great now for you all and for our residents, but also setting up the next generation for leadership and to be in a good financial position to be able to continue to serve into the future. So that's what keeps me up. Two truths and a lie. I am great with numbers and spreadsheets. How many of you believe that? Come on, get your hands up high. Believe in me, all right? I have 5 grandchildren and they're all boys. All right. I wanted to put up there I have 5 grandsons and they're all boys, but they wouldn't let me do that. That would also be true. I go to the Philippines every year. Okay, so I go to the Philippines every year. My daughter and son-in-law and 4 of our grandsons live there, and so we get to go. We don't get to go every single year, but just about every year we go to try to be there and visit with them, and it's a wonderful experience. And it's a great experience to see another culture. This is one of my favorite lines out of this trip is, one thing I don't like in people is entitlement, like you owe me. And then I get to the Philippines and I realize what an entitled American I am. And so what I've learned is I don't like entitlement in you, but I'm fine with it in me. So that's something more about me. I'm learning the lesson slowly of and I know I'm not owed these things, but it's just, there's some things like air conditioning and hot water that I kind of expect. So I have 5 grandchildren and they're all grandsons. It's wonderful. So they're not all here actually. One of them's missing, that he was just born back in May, so he's not in the picture. Steve's working on getting him included in the picture, so we're getting Caden caught up in the picture. I'm great with numbers and spreadsheets is an absolute lie. So it's like, my story, one of my favorite stories with this, First, I'll tell you that Doug Dowler worked in the budget office with me, and I think I was budget director even. We're gathered around this happened multiple times. We're gathered around the computer, and I'm sitting at the desk, and we're working on a spreadsheet. And I could see Doug over my shoulder kind of doing this, and trying to reach in and I'd finally look at him, I'd say, do you want to drive? And he'd say, do you mind? And then he'd get in there and work his max, because I just wasn't very good at it. Another one is, Brent was working in the budget office, and I don't remember what role I was in. I think I was a specialist, and he was the analyst. And I'm trying to teach him the spreadsheet, and what we were doing with this, it's the fund summary file, I think is what it was. So Brent's looking at it, and we're going through this and working on it. And probably 3 different times he said, what idiot did this? And we'd go through and we'd look at something, and I'd say, what idiot did this? And finally I said, I am the idiot that did this. Please stop saying that. So we got over it, we're okay, but I am not great with spreadsheets. If I start working on a spreadsheet for you, you probably need to take over. So thanks for bearing with us as we introduce ourselves a little bit. I'm going to kick it to LaShawn and let her take us through as we're going through looking at some of the things that we do in our department, just to give some background and all. And then we're going to introduce some other folks and let them engage with you and tell you a little bit more about what we do in the city manager's office.
Thank you. So I have the pleasure of discussing our city structure. And for those of you who don't know, Mayor, we have a council manager form of government, and we've had this form of government since 1927. You hear another term about strong mayor form of government, but like I said, we have a council manager form of government, and mayor and council hire Mr. Freeman, the city manager, also our city auditor, our municipal councilor, and then they appoint our municipal judges. So those individuals work for mayor and council. Mr. Freeman over here serves as, in the corporate world, as a CEO. He's the CEO of the city, and Mr. Freeman is responsible for carrying out the policies and procedures and the things that mayor and council want to do within our organization. So we all work for Mr. Freeman. And so that is our reporting structure. Mr. Freeman hires all of the department heads. So if we flip over to a strong mayor form of government, the mayor would hire the department heads. And so in this form of government, like I said, Mr. Freeman operates as the CEO, and we carry out the policies of council and things of that in our day-to-day workings. So I think I touched on all of that. Is there anything that you think that you would want to add to our city structure?
Yeah, no, I would just give a couple of thoughts here. First of all, the form of government, it's council manager form. It's exactly what LaShawn said is exactly right. Some people call it weak mayor form. Do not ever call it a weak mayor form, all right? Our mayor, honestly, is not weak. No. I mean, granted, I have the role of leading in the organization, and the council actually by charter are prohibited from engaging in any personnel matters. People send them some things complaining about me every once in a while, and he'll go, that's Craig's job, he's got to do this, he's got to take care of this issue, it's a personnel matter. And also, I think it's not a strong city manager form either, right? Because that to some people implies that there's weakness somewhere else. So really, it's a council manager form. In this environment, the mayor and council, they lead by giving us direction through their policies and through the priorities. But also for the mayor, you look at this, he's leading within the organization with the council, but in our community, and he leads by influence. And you think about how strong his influence is without having that power of being able to direct all these other things. And I really do appreciate the form that we have here, and really the idea is it creates this, it creates a little bit of a buffer from the politics to the professionalism and allows us to run as a professional organization. And I think that's a reflection on all of you.
Thank you, Craig. And another thing, when we are out attending conferences or doing work with other cities, they always ask us, what is our secret sauce? Because, they have challenges in their structure of government. And in our form of government, it works really well, like Craig said, with the mayor and how involved he is and how we all work together. Even though it is a council manager form of government, we still all work together to get things done. And so just by charter, it's the reporting structure, but we are in the trenches together for our residents, for our employees, and for our cities. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason.
Let's see. So, City Manager's Office. City Manager's Office is dedicated to fostering a thriving, well-managed community. Our mission centers on empowering effective governance and exceptional service delivery through strategic leadership and informed decision-making. And so, yes, as we carry out the mission of council, working alongside Craig, working for Craig, this is our vision/mission that really keeps us grounded, helps us understand our role, and advance the initiatives of the city. So, thanks.
All right, now we're going to, thank you, Jason. One of the things is ACM's what our role is, and I tell people this, our job is to lighten the load for the city manager. He has people bombarding him with things daily, and we try to do everything we can to help him and help him be successful. Because when he's successful, we're all successful. And we've got a great community here. So when you look at, we're accountable to the mayor and council at the top, and you see the city manager identified in yellow there. And then within the city manager's office, we have what you would call other programs. And within those programs, we have the MAPS program, which is answers to, I'm over that. Also the cultural engagement is also another one that I'm involved with. Special projects, which is Sue will talk to you here in a minute about sports venues and all the great things we do there. And then Jason has the innovation aspect, innovation team there. And then we have our key to home people, which LaShawn is over that as well. And so that, as you can see, the way it looks here, the auditor and the city manager, city attorney, municipal judges are all on the same level. And then the office of the mayor and council. So that's how we're made up. It's a great organization. And then again, all the department heads, they answer to the city manager's office. So, all right. And I'm not trying to be rude. I got to leave town to go to attend a funeral. So y'all have a great day and thanks for coming.
Thank you, Brent.
All right, thank you, Assistant City Managers. Assistant City Managers, feel free to just sit back down if you're ready. We're going to do a little trivia break because we want to make sure that everyone's actually paying attention. We have a little prize. Also, I'm Bailey. I'm the Chief of Staff to the Mayor. I'll have a whole spiel in a little bit, but for now, I'm just your fun game host for a couple seconds. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions based off of what we just heard from our city manager and assistant city managers. Just raise your hand. I will try to be fair and call on whoever raises their hand first. And you win a little gift card if you get the question right. So first question is, what offices and initiatives are housed under the city manager's office? Assistant city managers don't get to answer. Nice try, LaShawn. I'll just buy you a coffee. Let's do 3. How about 3? Okay, Sean in the back. Here, let me do the full game show host thing and come to you. What's your name, sir?
Question? Oh, I'm Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Office of Innovation, Culture Engagement, and MAPS.
Yay, good job. There's your gift card. Nice work. Okay, good thing I memorized the questions because I think I remember them. Okay, second question. When was the council manager form of government adopted? Introduce yourselves.
Chris Moses, Assistant Director of Development Services.
And what is the answer?
1927.
Nice work. There you go. Okay, and then final question, going back to the intros. Can anyone remember what LaShawn's favorite core value was? Not fishing. Nice try, Craig. Okay, why don't you tell me your name?
Beth Crowds.
And what's the answer?
Respect for the individual.
Good job. Respect always. You win. Good job. Okay. Awesome. So now that you know trivia is happening, make sure you're paying attention because we've got a couple more rounds of trivia as we go. But now I'd love to welcome up Sue, Andrea, and Jane for their sections. And we will be starting with Jane.
All right. I don't want to just talk. I gotta have VAs. All right. So I am Jane Abraham, and I've been with the city for almost 27 years. It'll be 27 years next month. And my job, I think I have the best job in the city because it's just amazing. And it's never dull. It is never dull. I'll come into the office thinking I'm going to do one thing, and nope, we're doing something else completely different. Because I work in politics, work with the legislature. I say politics. We are nonpartisan advocates for the city, for the policies that the city council wants to bring forward and to try to get the best outcomes for our residents. So we engage in the political process, but we are nonpartisan with all of the work that we do. So along those lines, if you'll think back to your days of watching Saturday morning cartoons and Schoolhouse Rock, and I'm just a Bill sitting here on Capitol Hill, if you remember that one. So that's my life. So it's all about the initiative legislation that we're trying to get through at the state level. Federal level, we tend to focus more on trying to acquire resources for the city through grants and different things with engaging with the legislature. So in order to get a bill through the state, it has to start in one chamber and get passed over there, and then it has to go to the other chamber and pass over there, go to the governor and be approved. He can veto, or sometimes they call it a pocket approval, sometimes it's a pocket veto. It's a very complicated process. I've got like a, VA. Would you go through all these different, because it has a committee process too, but that's the basics. It goes from one side to the other side, and then the governor, in order to be approved. So council adopts legislative agendas, both state and federal, and we were celebrating our Thunder victory through our legislative process this year. But in a nutshell, that's the work that I do. In addition to my legislative work, I also manage some contracts. For example, like the Convention and Visitors Bureau contract. Back in the day, I managed the contract with the artist to install the Land Run Monument down by the canal. Other contracts, sister cities. I have like I said, my job is you just never quite know what you're going to be working on. So I work with LaShawn on opioid abatement. HRC, I did the staff work for the HRC task force when that was a thing. And so it's wonderful. So anyway, I just encourage you all to, so my favorite core value, I should talk about that, is service first. Because I believe that that's what we're here for. We're here to serve our residents, and it's just key to everything that we do. So, but I also love One City, One Team. Oh, I had my One City, One Team picture up there, but it didn't make it through. But anyway, okay. All right. Anyway, so in a nutshell, that's what I work on. So I will now pass it on to Andrea.
Hi, my name is Andrea Grayson. I am the Public Safety Partnership Program Implementation Manager, and everybody's like, what is that and what does it mean? What are you implementing? So the Public Safety Partnership was founded after some civil unrest all over the country. What I like to say what was different about our city is that our council, mayor, and city manager made a commitment to our residents that we were going to explore moving into modernizing our public safety departments, our policing. So in that, we started to research 8 specific areas of modernizing our policing. Those areas were de-escalation, accountability, some of them, mental health response, mental health care for our police officers, and community violence interruption, just to name a few. So my job, as we moved forward in this process, we presented 39 recommendations to council. The 39th recommendation is to hire a full-time implementation manager to ensure sustained focus on making sure these recommendations were fully implemented, and that's what I do, that's my job. Next slide, whoever, okay. So As we strengthen our community through this partnership, what we are doing is we have this collaboration. None of this works without this collaborative effort. When I say public safety partnership, I really mean partnership. It is police, fire, council, the city manager's office, and most importantly, our residents here in Oklahoma City. None of this, what I'm doing, works without all of us working together. Those 39 recommendations are so important to the city. They focus on areas, like I said, of mental health. My milestones right now, we have 23 of the 39 recommendations implemented, which is a really heavy lift. And without the support of the city manager, without the support of my ACM that I report directly to, Jason Fairbrush, and our support as council, it just does not happen. And specifically, of course, the police department, my community liaison with the police department, and none of that works without them. So those milestones and accomplishments for me, really, if any of you have heard of mobile integrated health, that's our biggest milestone, but also our crisis intervention advisory group, this group of mental health care professionals who have come together to help guide us and lead us in the implementation of mobile integrated health and other programs. Our Community Public Safety Advisory Board, I could go on and on. I know they're gonna get the hook and grab me off the stage in a second, but we've increased the number of crisis intervention trained officers. We have streamlined the complaint process. So we have so many really important recommendations that have been implemented that are important to us as employees here and as residents of Oklahoma City. Future goals. We have done a lot of work over the past almost 3 years, but we are about to do some even heavier lifting. So last year we implemented 9 recommendations. This year is probably going to be about 4, maybe 5, maybe 3, but they're really heavy lifts. The great thing about the program is I'm just not doing it alone. It seems like it is just a team of me, but because of these relationships that we have with all of our community partners, giving their input to everything that we do, and I don't make unilateral decisions. We have a steering committee that's led by Craig that we receive guidance and leadership from. We also have working groups that we work with. So I am not making unilateral decisions as we move forward in this process. So those are my future goals. That's it.
So hi, I'm Sue Hollenbeck, and I'm the newbie of the group. So I haven't even been here 5 years. It'll be 5 years this summer that I've been here. And it has been a pleasure being here at the city. When the person who had my position before me said that I should apply, I was like, what do you mean work for the city? Like, isn't that weird? But it has not been weird. It has been absolutely amazing. So I am really, really happy today. I can talk forever about stuff, so I've got Jackie back there telling me when I have to shut up. So my favorite core value is one city, one team, and my take on that is just a little bit differently. So what I do, most of my everyday life here at the city is working with our large entertainment and athletic venues. So that is like the Paycom, where the Thunder plays. It is the new convention center. It is Devon Park, where USA Softball is, where the Women's College World Series is staged. It is the ballpark, where the Comets play, and it is the fairgrounds. So when I think of one city, one team, I actually incorporate all of that into my thought process of how do we work completely together as a city. Because when it's not just us that go out to our residents, it's how these other venues the residents perceive them. So anytime you go to a Thunder game, or you go to a Comets game, or if you go out to Devon Park and you go to a Women's College World Series, or you go to the one of 30 weekends a year that they do, or you go out to the state fair and you go out there to a horse show, all of that reflects on who we are and what we do. And so one city, one team, to me, is more than just the 5,000 employees here, but it is all of us. So this incorporates all those little things. I'm not a native Oklahoman. I actually grew up and was born in Connecticut and then moved through Knoxville, Tennessee, through Oklahoma City. I went to 3 different high schools, and I graduated from here, and then I left for about 10 years and came back. And I am what I consider myself an orphan in Oklahoma City. I don't have any family here, and I choose to live here because that's how much I love it. And I think that's really important because I really could, I'm not, but I could go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, Craig, but I could because I don't have that familial tie here, but I love being in Oklahoma City. I mean, I cannot tell you how much I love being a part of this community, and I've seen it grow, and 10 years ago, I was like, we're in the renaissance of Oklahoma City. And then, even 15 years ago, we're in a renaissance of Oklahoma City. And now it's like, holy, we're in the renaissance of Oklahoma City. And I think that's what's really important is we've had this renaissance and it keeps moving and we keep growing. And one of the things that I am in charge of is I am actually the city liaison for the Olympics. So you don't really care about me. You just want me to talk about what's going on with the Olympics. And I totally understand that. You're like, Sue, move on. And like I said, it's a pleasure and it's really fun. And I have like crazy slides, and there's a lot of information on here because there's a lot of information about the Olympics. So one of the things I want to really make sure that you guys understand is Oklahoma City actually didn't bid. If you're kind of familiar with the way that things happen, we did not bid on the Olympics. We were awarded our two venues because it's a sustainability with the International Olympic Committee and LA 28. LA 28 did not have a whitewater center, and we are actually the closest man-made whitewater center to LA. So therefore, that's why we have canoe slalom. And I just want to make sure everyone, it's whitewater. It's like rapids. It's not rowing. So we're not actually on the river, we're in the whitewater center. And then as baseball and softball was introduced to the Olympics in 28, LA didn't have, which sounds crazy to me, but LA did not have an appropriate softball field. And you're like, Sue, they have the Dodgers and they have the Padres and they have all these different professional teams. Well, it's not really very easy to convert a baseball field to a softball field. I wish Brent were here right now, but you can't really do that. You have an infield versus not an infield. It's deeper, it's just not really the same. And they've done that for other Olympics, and what happens is like the field of play is here and you're sitting up here. And here in Oklahoma City, we're the softball capital of the world, and we have this amazing venue. If you've never been out to Devon Park, I highly suggest that you get out there this summer. But you're right on top of the action. And so those are the 2 reasons that we got those 2 events and those 2 competitions in Oklahoma City. What are the competitions? I think that's also really important. We're going to give out 7 gold medals here in Oklahoma City. We're the only other city that will hand out medals besides Southern California. And there are 6 medals that will happen on the water. That is men's and women's canoe, whitewater canoe, men's and women's whitewater kayak, and men's and women's whitewater kayak cross. And then softball will have a gold medal. So those are the 7. There's 2, 2, 2, and 1. Does that make sense? So those are what's going to be handed out. And I understand that everybody understands softball. And canoe slalom, you're like, I don't really get it. First of all, there's a world championship this summer. I highly suggest that you guys go out there and watch it. But the best part of this is this kayak cross, because they have 4 kayaks that are 15 feet tall, and they fall right down into the water, and then they have to race one another. So it's like bumper cars on the water with these kayaks, and they're doing these flip things and everything. And you're just sitting there, and you're like, damn, is he gonna drown? I don't know what's happening. And so it's that's the really, really fun part of canoe slalom. So I highly suggest you go out and either Google kayak cross, and that's the fun part to come out and watch. So, so we're talking about one of the largest athletic and events that we will ever host in our lifetime. And you're probably thinking there's hundreds and thousands of athletes. There's 200 athletes. For competition-wise, it's actually quite small. We have more teams and more athletes here for the Women's College World Series for softball than we will for the Olympics. We have more people and more competitors on a normal competition on the water than we will for the Olympics. It's actually competition-wise, one of the smallest events we'll do on either venue, and it's also, I keep telling people, like, what's on the water and what's on the field is the easiest part of what we're doing for the Olympics. That's turnkey. We put people on a field, they can play softball. We put people on the water, they're gonna canoe and kayak. It's everything else that makes this such a big, big, big deal. Whoops. And how much time do I have? I have about 30 seconds, so that won't even let me go through this. But the way that it works is that there's an LOC, what we call in the business an LOC, a local organizing committee, that is actually an organization called Team OKC. And then us here at the city. So we're kind of married. So what Team OKC does is anything that is kind of temporary, that could be temporary builds such as bleachers or anything like that on the competition field, or it could be things like marketing and ticket sales and communications, and then everything that the city is responsible for. And that could be transportation, security, the permanent builds and the permanent upgrades that we're doing to our facilities as well. So we're very, very much married in what we're doing. One thing that I really want to get across, and I know that I have like 10 seconds left, is the number of people that will be here. And you're thinking, how many people are going to be here? How many tickets? Well, the reality is that there will be more people here in Oklahoma City to experience the games than they will have a ticket to the actual event. So we just had, in LA, they just had the All-Star game for the NBA. They can only put less than 20,000 people in that arena, but there's probably 1 million people that go because they want to be a part of it. That is the exact same thing that's going to happen in Oklahoma City. People are going to be like, LA is a little too far, a little too expensive, and a little too intimidating to go to, but Oklahoma City, man, that feels attainable. And I think we're gonna see a ton of people come in. So there are 51 venues in the Olympic Games. 49 of them are in Southern California. 2 of them are here in Oklahoma City. They're expecting 15 million visitors. That breaks down to 294,000 people per venue. That's about 600,000 people here in Oklahoma City. I believe we will see every bit of that here in Oklahoma City. You will see hundreds of thousands of people around. And so what I'm telling Craig is that is a lot of sales tax revenue, and that's what we want out of it. So, but that's the Olympics. I'm happy to talk to you guys more if there's anything that you want to know. And this is just an exciting 2+ years, and I will be gray in July of 2028. Thank you.
All right. Hello. Is it on? Can we hear? Oh, great. Okay. Amazing. Thank you all so much. Your game show host is back for a second round of trivia. We're going to just roll through this really quickly. So first question is, what is one major milestone of the public safety partnership? Yeah? Here. Why don't you introduce yourself quickly?
Oh, hello everyone. April Meadows and HR ELR. One of them, I believe, was mental health support for the police officers.
That counts. That's great. Thank you. Nice work. Okay. And then how many total athletes are expected to come to Oklahoma City for the Olympics? I think I saw no answering your own questions. Come on now. What's your name? Yeah.
Mindy.
Mindy, and what's the answer?
180.
Good job. Yes. So 180 total. Oh, I'm leaving without your gift card. I'm sorry. There you go. Okay, and then the last trivia question is, before a bill can become a law in Oklahoma, who has to approve it? So over here.
I'm Tony Mitchell from Development Services, and that is the governor.
Correct. Okay, nice job. Good job, everybody. You're listening. Yay. Okay, so now I'm not your game show host, and I'm Bailey again, Chief of Staff in the mayor's office. Yay, next section is mine. Okay, great. So we just heard a lot about the city manager's office. We're gonna switch gears to the mayor's office. We're co-located up here on the 3rd floor, so come say hi to me too. The mayor's office, as our city manager and assistant city manager said, is really responsible for helping to kind of set the vision for the city, the direction that the city is going. And really thinking about kind of the needs of the community and elevating what those priorities should be, and using that soft influence that our city manager and assistant city managers spoke about to kind of move and shake both our city government, but also our partners within the city. You can go to the next slide, Shay. Thank you. Okay, so let's just quickly look at this org chart again. So we talked a lot about the city manager's office, which has the city manager, the ACMs, and then a bunch of other offices and initiatives like PIM, Key to Home, Public Safety Partnership. We talked about Sue and Jane, right? So those are all there. You see in the little blue box, that's the Office of Mayor and City Council. We'll hear about City Council at another departmental spotlight. So we're co-located again in the city manager's office, but we're kind of our own separate little entity on our own. Okay, so Mr. Mayor Holt cannot be here. He's in a different state right now, but pretend I'm like 6'6" and I'll be him for a minute. Mayor Holt's favorite core value is also one city, one team. He also doesn't like listening to the rules. His reasoning for that is, one, he loves anything that has to do with sports, and the team kind of mentality really resonates with him. He wants our city government to really see themselves as a single team that is moving together, whether it's in a competition or not, to achieve really concrete goals for our residents. He's got a bunch of different priorities. Folks probably have heard of One OKC before, seen the hashtags, right? So he's really about kind of inclusion and honoring the diversity of our community and making sure that lots of different types of folks are engaged with our city government on boards, trusts, commissions, and otherwise. He loves his sports, again. So folks have maybe heard the backstory. I'm not going to get into it now, of how he was really instrumental in bringing the LA 28 games to Oklahoma City as well. Big fan of the Thunder, and does a lot kind of on the national scale and also internationally, talking about the value of sports diplomacy and what that does to kind of elevate the identity and the recognition of our community. And then a bunch of other things like economic and workforce development, community safety, so working with our public safety teams and the Public Safety Partnership, and regional transit, which gets back to City Manager Jason's work around regional transit specifically. Okay, and now it's me. So my favorite core value is keep getting better. So I'm actually also pretty new to Oklahoma City. I moved here about 2.5 years ago from Boston, Massachusetts. I worked for the mayor in Boston and then came here to help start the Office of Innovation. So this idea of keep getting better really resonates with me, just kind of iterating and thinking through how we can improve. Like our Assistant City Manager Brent said earlier, I think that we can always do better, and we owe that to ourselves, our teammates, and our residents to keep thinking about ways that we can do our services better. My day-to-day, similar to what Jane was saying, is crazy and always varying. Some days it is a new fire for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. So our mayor is right now the president of this national organization that represents 1,400 mayors around the country. We do a lot of work with them, but sometimes it gets a little spicy. A lot of the time it's working with our city manager and assistant city managers on whatever they're working on, working with our department heads or our special projects groups to just kind of give some operational or strategic kind of bandwidth to their work and just make sure that the mayor's vision is being seen through. And then we do a lot of work with residents. So we go to a lot of things. I talk to a lot of residents. Some residents show up at City Hall looking for me and want to say hi, which is fun. But really every day is super different, and it's just kind of a hodgepodge of different projects. And then that's it for the mayor's office for now. I just wanted to take a second to recognize our admin team. So folks might know these people. Karen, Sharita, Tammy, and Lisa literally keep us alive, I would say. They help us so much behind the scenes to make sure that things keep moving and grooving along, and they're superstars. So just wanted to recognize them for a second. So in summary, I just want to do a little kind of concluding slide of what City Manager's Office and Mayor's Office means to you and does for you. So one, again, we're on the 3rd floor. Come say hi. And if you have questions, come find us. But I'd say that we really work on kind of 5 buckets that are relevant to employees across all different departments and their work. We try to remove barriers for departments. So when a sticky situation comes up or there's a cross-departmental initiative, that's the last bucket over there, we try to figure out how to make folks work together seamlessly and just ease some of those barriers that you might be coming up against. We try to align resources to priorities. So you heard a little bit about that in terms of our financial health and budgeting. So we've got priorities from our council and mayor. We try to align our people and our financial resources to those. Goes on with our supporting the budget and staffing decisions, which you've already heard plenty about. And then we also advocate at the state and federal level, whether that's Jane in her work with intergovernmental affairs or mayor talking to other mayors and us flying into DC to advocate for different policy, different legislation. We're trying to just kind of look out for us at that macro level all the time. And I think with that, if we can switch to the next slide, we've got the last trivia. I tried to go fast because I know we don't have a ton of time. Okay, so for my section, can anyone name 3 priorities of Mayor Holt or the mayor's office? You. Not me. Anybody besides Sean? Unless Sean wants $10. I can go to Sean. Really? We went through them. All right, Sean.
Actually, that's all right.
He's taking notes, literally. Okay.
No, I only got 2 actually, so someone else.
Anybody? Here, why don't you give 2 and we'll see if someone else can give one.
Number 1, OKC, and I put sports diplomacy. 'Cause that was
Yeah, that's great. Any others? Do you have another one? Oh, back here? Yeah? Go for it.
Regional transit.
Yeah, regional transit. Okay, I'm going to give you the gift card because Sean already got one. And then, does anybody remember my favorite core value? Not LaShawn. Oh, yeah, you didn't do one yet. Yeah.
Carol Reed, Development Services Administration, and it was one city, one team.
Nope, that was the mayor. Nice try. Okay, go for it.
Jessica Sams, HR, Employee and Labor Relations, and it was Keep Getting Better.
Nice job. Good work. Good work. Okay. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Shay.
Yes. Hi, y'all. Was that cool? Did y'all learn anything? Just a little bit? Just a little bit? Yeah. So I'm here to just wrap us up with a few things. One, why in the world are we doing these department spotlights? The goal of this series is to promote our core values. Can you tell? I think we've been doing that a little bit. Okay. Promote our core values, especially when we think about the spotlights. We think about one city, one team, and keep getting better. You all, hopefully, as you go through these spotlights, will be able to keep getting better on a lot of levels, even when it comes to being a good resident here. Like when I just sit in these meetings, I just listen, and I'm able to then be a good resident when people ask me about certain things. Like now, whenever people talk about the Olympics, we can feel like we know a little something, right? And so that's one of the things. And then one city, one team. Whenever we hear what other people have going on, the hope is that we're able to better respect, better, really advocate for one another, kind of see another side. Sometimes it's easy for us to form an opinion of what another team or another person is or isn't doing, but sometimes we don't even know what they're supposed to be doing, right? And so if we come to these spotlights, we're able to then say, what is that department's priority? What is that leader's priority? What is the council or Craig, Jason, LaShawn, or Brent? And then we're able to say, oh, they are doing their job, right? Because we have a better idea of what their job really is. And so those are the 2 core values. The other thing is to improve employee engagement by helping all of us better understand the work that's happening across the organization. And so ultimately, it's connected to these 3 GAGE concepts. Haven't heard GAGE yet, have you? Dropped it. So these 3. My coworkers are committed to doing quality work. Yet again, oh, Sue is doing her job now that I understand what her job is, right? Or that does make sense. Now I understand the barrier. I understand the thing that is or isn't happening because I was able to hear things like this. The mission or the purpose of my organization makes me feel my job is important. Hopefully, as you're coming to these, you're able to be like, I get to be a part of this. Like, I get to wear this seal, right? And then I'm well informed about what the organization, what's going on in the organization. A lot of times, it does seem like people think that there's secrets that are being kept, and like I'm sure there's a lot of things that are on the ACM and the city manager's minds and what they talk about when it's only the four of them that they can't necessarily share. But what I will tell you is they're four of the most transparent leaders that I've ever seen in my career. And so when they do have something to share, they will share it. Even thinking about the budget discussion earlier, when we said, Craig, do you want to give that update? He did not hesitate because he put himself in everybody else's shoes and said, I will want to know as well, right? And so how do we feel better informed, but also respecting there are going to be things that we may hear in 2 months, and that's not because they kept it from us today. It's because we don't want them fired because they did tell us today, right? Or they may not know it today, but they'll know it in 2 months. And so our hope is that people feel more informed and are able to really hear it straight from department heads. We were talking to Brock about their department spotlight earlier. So those are the 3 gauge concepts that we really hope that this informs. In the past 4 years, a smaller version of these spotlights were embedded in our Mentor Circle program, and we really evolved the program. It looks a little different now, but one of the things that we did was pull these out because we said, wait a minute, this should be accessible to all people, not only the people that are going through the programs. A few things as we leave is just if you have questions, email them to us. I cannot tell you I'll know the answer, but I know who will, right? So I will get it to the right people. We'll try to get you the answer, we will get you an answer. I don't know if it's what you'll be looking for, but we will get you an answer if you'll email it to culture@okc.gov or send it to myself or Jackie, and we'll get it to one of these amazing humans. The March 18th, you'll hear from Embark, and the 22nd of April, you'll hear from MAPS and the city clerk's office. We have a whole calendar. I won't bore you with that, but if you want to look at the engagement calendar that is on Inside OKC that our amazing PIM partners help us keep up, you can go ahead and put the spotlights on your calendar so that you can make sure that you're here for those. Because we are gamifying some of our things, and so it's really important that you scan that QR code and you say you were here today and try to catch the other things because some really fun things will be tied to showing up and participating. I can't always say that it's going to be clarity. Look at y'all pulling y'all's phone out now. Y'all now y'all want to, no, I'm just kidding. Yes, please scan that and let us know that you were here today so you can take part in that. It's 11:30, y'all. You get to go. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. And thank you to those that's online. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you.